This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Damn, Perk did this?
I don't need no one to save me. I was born to be the greatest. All that time in that basement, all that time isn't wasted. Rapping getting faded. I just wanna tell my mom that I made it. Just wanna be the topic of the conversation. Used to rock the gold plated. Now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.
What's going on? It's KingzNDreamz back again. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram, KingzNDreamz. Also, follow the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. All right, so I have Mannieegee here, and we are going to talk about some of the differences that we see in modern dating. All right, so welcome, Mannieegee. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Mannieegee. I'm based out in Lowell, Massachusetts. I primarily run a coffee shop with my family, and it's called Weve's Cafe. If you're ever in the area, you can check it out. I also am a massage therapist, so I have my hands in a couple of different things. I do music and stuff like that, so, you know, Jackie of all trades.
Okay, perfect. So I just want to say thank you for coming, and thank you for being a part of this conversation.
This is big. I appreciate you.
Yes. All right, cool. Okay, so let's get into it. So with modern dating, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say would be a key factor for a woman to bring to a relationship in a man? What are some key factors?
For a woman to what she should bring to the table.
Yes, correct.
I believe a woman, you know, that's the thing, you know, we keep talking about this imaginary table of what we're going to bring to it. And ultimately every person is different. People have different needs. Like,
right.
You know, you could say, I could say I'm a woman, I can cook, I can clean, I can do, but I could also have a man that can do all of those things. He might not need that. So it's not necessarily about what you can bring to the table as a woman. I do think it's important to know yourself.
Okay.
I feel like it's important to and truly know yourself, because we all out here acting like we know each other, like, you know, we know the true inner, you know, workings of yourself. But I feel like I'm surprised by myself, my actions a lot, more than I've in the past been willing to admit. So
okay.
I do feel like we need to, you know, figure out what you want. Instead of bringing something to the table, figure out what you want, what works for you, your lifestyle, your family, what kind of life you want to live, which this all requires planning.
Right.
But it also requires a lot of time being alone and just figuring things out on a personal front, so that when you are presented to whatever table,
right,
you know, you're presenting what you have, and that person is meeting you halfway, as opposed to, this is what I can offer. You know, and basically it's just everybody's trying to sell themselves out here.
Right.
Oh, I can do this, I can do that, but it doesn't really matter what you can do. What matters is how it works for whomever you're trying to create a life with.
Okay. Fair enough. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say something different. A woman she should sleep with her man every night. She should make sure that she always run all that, you know, because ultimately that doesn't sustain anything.
No, definitely not. So I guess I think that was a great explanation. So what I would say is in a more generic way of me asking, like, what would you say would be kind of like 2 or 3 general key things that a woman should bring to a relationship? Because I do think that I do think that what you said was on the money as far as it depends on you and the person that you are in that relationship with. So I guess that's more of a personal touch. So I'm asking more of kind of like a generic point of view for view as far as like how modern dating is as a whole grand scheme of things. That's what I mean.
What do I think that a woman should bring?
Yeah, like what would like I guess like what are like the top 2 or 3 things?
I mean, she needs to be sure of herself, confident in herself, and everything like that. I do think that that is key because everything, all of your actions will be a result of how you feel about yourself, your morals and stuff like that. So I do feel like self-confidence, knowing yourself, as I said before, because when you're faced with, hypothetically,
Right.
you and I are dating and we go out and, you know, I don't really know myself or whatever, and I'm still, you know, I still get excited about attention from other people. I might be with a man and he may not appreciate that I'm getting excited that another man is showing me attention. So I feel like it's important to really like be solid in yourself, to know who you are, so you're not so easily swayed by other outside influences. I feel
That's a good point.
It's huge. It's huge, especially with the way that the male's ego is set up. I think it's important for women to understand how men are set up in their minds.
Right.
But the thing is, men are also setting themselves up for failure in their own minds in some ways. But I guess we'll get to that in a bit.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a bit.
Okay. All right. So what I would say is for myself and a lot of men that I've been in conversations with, friends, family, associates, so on and so forth. The most common things typically, first thing is peace, cooperation, and I would say and friendliness. So those.
But you know what?
Okay.
Of course, you should bring that to a relationship, but you should bring that to life. Period. With everybody.
Fair enough.
With everyone. You should always bring people peace.
Right.
You know, the thing where we're at right now, you're seeing a lot of people online saying we're healing. And I'm saying online because I feel like our lives have been so centered online, especially just being home.
Right.
So the only interaction that we had with people outside of that was through our devices.
Right.
So I do feel like it's very important there's a lot of hurt people out here, and we're all talking about healing. So I think it's important to bring peace to everybody that you have dealings with. We're hurt people, and hurt people hurt people. So and then we just continue that. But you know, you have to say that the buck stops here. Okay. You should cooperate with everyone at your job, and that's why I'm saying it's not a relationship thing. This goes beyond relationships. Right.
Yeah. I do believe that as well. I do believe that you should be peaceful, cooperative, and friendly, you know, throughout all aspects of your life. But I feel, but I'm of the belief that if you are not acting accordingly in those areas, it's going to affect your relationships, whether they're friendships, romantic relationships, and or marriage.
Yeah, so you have to just be that on your own.
Right.
You have to be that on your own.
Right.
And the thing is, I mean, I'm gonna make this a me versus you kind of thing, like men versus women kind of thing. Okay. Men pick horrible women often, very often. Okay. Very often, and women pick horrible men very often. Okay. And that's why I initially started with you need to know yourself. Right. Because I know for me personally, I know my traumas. I know why I am the way I am. I know my relationship with my father. You know how men always try to bring that up. I know my relationship with my father and all of these things, and they all attribute to who I am. So I need to figure out how the little child in me has been hurt and how to heal her so that she's not going out into the world hurting other people, hurting other people in relationships. I've hurt men. Men have hurt me. It's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's nobody's fault. you know, the buck stops with me. Like I have to make the conscious decision that
self-awareness.
I have to make the conscious decision that I'm not gonna be out here dogging my man. I'm not gonna be out here sleeping with whomever. I'm not gonna be, you know, X, Y, and Z. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So you had mentioned that you feel that you are the belief that both sexes pick bad partners. So let's start with the woman first. So why do you think that women pick bad partners, and what would you consider a bad partner? So that's a two-part question, actually.
Okay. Why do women pick bad partners?
Mm-hmm.
For a number of reasons. It could be either maybe she doesn't feel good about herself, so she, you know, and then this, you know, it's not that she necessarily chose, but she attracted a taker.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because she wasn't solid in herself. Get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not solid in yourself. You're
Yep.
gonna choose a taker,
Right.
because you know they may fluff you up with artificial things that make you feel good in the moment.
Okay.
Those instant gratification things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, I love you, babe, and give you a kiss and smack on the butt, and then you feel, oh my god, he loved me. You know, and it sometimes that's not the case. So, you know, women are seeking validation. They want to seem like they're a good woman. That biological clock. You know, and a lot of men be like, oh, how come you're single? That means you ain't shit. You know what I mean? Or where's your man? Or they always make these comments, so you feel like you're not worthy of anything. So you'll end up settling for anything just so that you feel good about yourself, feel like you actually are somebody. Because a lot of people hold. Does that make sense? Does that make sense right there?
I'm hearing you. So what would you say makes a bad relationship with a man?
With a man,
Mm-hmm.
You know, if like he's inconsiderate, if he's just selfish, if he's too lusty, too greedy, too much extremisms, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What you really want to look for in a partner is somebody who's balanced.
Okay.
Somebody who's understanding, who's not too high on a pedestal where they can't come down to earth and, you know, and just be.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I know a lot of women who've been in relationships with a man who wants you to have your nails done, your hair done, everything did, but to what cost? You know what I mean? Just so that you look good for him. You know what I mean? To what cause? Like, you know, you're constantly plucking and nipping and changing who you are and changing your appearance and stuff like that to appeal to somebody on that level. And then how much of yourself do you lose? Is it worth it? Kind of thing.
So
I'm saying that, like, that's an example of how men a lot of times there's like women are supposed to be this. They're supposed to be beautiful. They're supposed to be, you know, all of these things, and we're all trying to balance it out. If you look at it from a historical standpoint, it's kind of like, you know how we're talking about wages. You know, the minimum wage hasn't changed in years, but inflation and prices of housing and everything has gone up.
Mm-hmm.
Women used to stay home and cook and clean and do all of those things back in the day, where they had time to be pretty all the time and had time to make sure everything was on point, and then the man would go and do what he has to do, come home, blah blah blah. There was flaws in that dynamic, but now here we are, you know, however many years later, 50, 60 years later. So things have changed in terms of women and men are both in the work field, but then now men are still expecting women to be beautiful and the house is supposed to be clean and it doesn't make sense. It's unrealistic.
Okay, so I guess I have to push back a little bit here, right? So if the man is the primary provider, and he wants his woman to look good. Now, I'm not saying has to have her nails done every week, but her nails should be in at least presentable shape. Hair should be in presentable shape. You know, so I don't think that that's a big issue. Now, again, I'm only referring to the men who are taking care of business. So if you have, you know, if you have a man, let's say he's married, he has 2 children, the wife works part-time because she's home taking care of the kids, the man works 60, 70 plus hours a week. I don't think that there should be an issue with that. With the woman looking.
Oh no, but what I'm saying now is that in 2021 going to 2022, more often than not, there's not many men that can just solely provide for their family or for their woman or whatever to keep her just to stay at home. Right? So now your woman has to work too. But now you're still expecting the standard hasn't changed. We haven't adjusted.
Right. So what I would so there's 2 things what I would say. One thing that I would say to the men that want their woman to look good, but if their woman is working the same amount of hours as they are and their pay scale is probably about the same, then I would say that man needs to relax. You know. But there's a lot of people who think that way, though. Right. You see it all the time. They want you to have a fat ass. They want you to have all of these things. And it's crazy because a lot of these things are they're just things. They're nice to have when you have them, but it's very anticlimactic. Like, you know, you finally get that chick with the everything, the banging body, blah, blah, blah. And then you get her and you're like, oh, she's boring. Right. Men are very lusty. We're hunters. Typically, when you've gotten into relationships, who has shot and they shot first? You or the man? I have. I'm not saying that you haven't, but typically most of the time, the man shoots. But men are not shooting their shot no more. Well, barely. Or it's taken to an online platform. Well, I've noticed. Yes, I would say that there's a combination of things, mitigating factors to that. So there's so many single women right now, so many single people right now. They are. I think that there are unrealistic expectations on both sides, right? So I just kind of want to go back to my point when you were talking about the man saying that he wants his woman to have her hair done, nails done, all that stuff, right? So, and if they're making about the same amount of money, things like that, so. I mean, typically she's really not going to have the time because she's at work, you know. However, I do think that a woman should look presentable at least at most times. Oh, I'm not saying you. Right. I'm not saying be ragged. That's no. No. So my other point is my other point would be is that if that man is making the salary to where he can take care of house and home. You know, put food on the table, and the woman doesn't have to work, or maybe has to work, you know, again, like part-time, then the upkeep of the woman's figure, hair, nails, things like that, then that should go higher. That should be more of a priority. It should be, but ultimately, every relationship, you two have to come together and figure out what works for you. Right. You know, we're always here looking at, oh, well, you know, my granddaddy and my grandmama, they did this and this and this, and they were fine, and they were, yeah, they lived at a different time. They're different people. They grew up on different circumstances. You can't compare yourself to that. And we're in an age right now where we're comparing ourselves to a lot of other people. So, yeah, I actually just watched a video of this divorce lawyer, and she was saying, you know, a lot of these women want to become stay-at-home moms and do all this stuff, but in all of the divorces that I take care of, these women end up being left destitute. You know, after everything, alimony and child support only can go so far. When you have this certain, you're accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and then that man takes it away from you, then you're basically, you're rendered, you know, what are you supposed to do after that? Right. You can't live in those, you can't live the way that you used to when you were with him. So a lot of times that kind of relationship
from the male's perspective and the woman's perspective, it looks great on paper, but it doesn't work for you realistically. You're not happy. Oh, you talking about a woman that you want your woman to stay home and all this other stuff, and then she does that and she cleans and stuff like that, but then you're like, oh, she's boring, she don't got nothing going on. Why? Because she's at home. She ain't got nothing else to do.
Well, I think that she should pick up a hobby. It's not like
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm saying, like, you know, you could only wash dishes, clean the tub, cook, but so many times. I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with getting like a work from home job or a gig or find other moms that work from home. You know, go out, take the kids out. You know, maybe when the husband gets home, you know, some nights, you know, you go over, you know, you have like a ladies' night at the girls' house, not at the club, at the girls' house.
Why not at the club? Why can't go to the club? Why can't go to the club?
Because you know what, that's a danger zone.
Why is that a danger zone?
Fellas, that's a danger zone. I've been a promoter since I was 14 years old. It is a danger zone. I'm smiling right now, but I'm telling you the truth. It is a danger zone. Girls' night, no.
No, I don't know. My girls don't ever convince me to cheat or anything.
I mean, listen, like it, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Men's minds be all over the place. You think we just out here just half of the time? You know what, men. The thing is we are territorial, and but you're making up. You can be territorial, but don't make stuff up in your mind.
No, I know, but see, no, okay, so to avoid that, men, what a lot of, you know, this is what a good percentage of men don't do. What it is that you don't set the boundaries, and then once the relationship starts, you try to set the boundaries, and then you're labeled as controlling, and you messed up because you got to set the boundaries before you get into that relationship. So
everything is clear. Clarity is key.
Right. Clarity. So like before I get into a relationship, you know, I would say, you know, like I would tell the woman that's going to be my girlfriend, like, you know, I don't date women who goes to the club all the time. You know, if it's like a birthday party, you know, special like celebrations, cool, but like girls' night, no. You know.
Well, yeah, I want to listen to some music and wine something. What's the problem?
Music in the yard, you know. Music at home, you know.
It's different when you have somebody on the set, you know.
You got the nice surround sound, you know. I got a 4K, nice 4K. Got a couple of 4Ks. Got the speakers, you know. I got the wine, you know. If you want something strong, I got that. It's all good.
Yes. Okay. I mean, as long as that, you know, as long as that is all there. But then, what are you not doing where your woman wants to be out in the streets like that? Anyways.
I don't understand the question. Rephrase.
Like, you know, let's hypothetically you have a girlfriend and she just want to be at the club every week. So, all right. First of all, you know, that's not the type of person you want to be with. So it should already be curtains from there. But yeah, like I mean, so let me just clarify. Like, would I still hang out with this girl and have fun? Yes. Would I escalate it to a serious romantic level? No. Why?
Because I told her that I don't date women that go to the club every week, and if she's still going to the club every week, then she really doesn't want to be in a relationship with me, or she doesn't want to be in a committed relationship with me, and that's okay. I'm okay with having fun, but you know, I believe that transparency is key because when you don't have that transparency before you get into that committed relationship, again, like how I said a few minutes ago, it turns about that the man is being controlling and possessive, right? Because it's like, oh, well, you gave me the validation, if you will, to make me your girlfriend. So now you're saying that I can't go out, or I can't go out to the club, I can't have girls trips. No, if you establish that in the beginning, and she still wants to hold on a minute. Sorry. If you establish that in the beginning, right? And if she wants to be in that relationship with you, then great. Now, if you guys come to some sort of compromise and then you guys get into that relationship, you can't renege on that compromise because now men, you played yourself.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? You know?
And men do have are like that. So it's important for women to understand the man's mind, but it's also important for the men to understand the woman's mind.
Yeah, that's a beta male move. Alpha males don't do that. Males don't do that. Like,
so what?
Because you can't, because again, right, like what you just said, like they get into the relationship, and then then they get upset if their girlfriend is going out to the club or girls trip. No, if you establish that before you get into the relationship, and then if she decides to do a girls trip or go to the club, then as a man you need to leave. You need to cut her out.
So what I'm going to ask you, so what is the root of that? What is the root of you not wanting her to go to the club? Not because you said you didn't like it, because it's easy to say you don't like it, but why don't you like it? What is the root of that?
Well, so the reason for me and most men is because men are hunters. Typically, men go to the club because they want to get it in. They want to get it in, and so they're looking for.
But what if women? But women, I'm telling you, women don't go to the club because they want to get it in.
No, and I get that, I get that. But one of the things is that with men, especially like in the manosphere, like we deal with probability, not possibility. Is it Is it
probable that somebody's gonna come and hit on your girl? Probably, but what if she?
Yeah.
But
why even? I guess.
Why even put yourself in that?
Right. Why even put yourself in that position?
Because who gives a damn? It doesn't matter. It's not just at the club that we're getting hit on.
Oh,
I'll be at the grocery store in my mask and a hoodie, no wig, no makeup, no nothing, and a man will still come and try to hit on me. So it's not
right
exclusive to the club.
So let's add a deference to that. So with the club, you also have alcohol. So and again, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying some women, she might be intoxicated. Man might be intoxicated. He's getting her drinks or whatever, and things might. What I'm saying is it leaves that window there. It leaves that window of opportunity. So you're not drunk at the grocery store. You're not drunk getting your nails done. And if you are drunk, then we gotta, that's another conversation. But
you might need to see somebody.
Getting your nails done. You're supposed to have a little bit of mimosa, not a little bit of mimosa, not the whole bottle of champagne. No, but in all seriousness, like with the nightclub scene, it puts that
it breeds
that opportunity, so
that's one thing that I've been on lately. I've been feeling like I try to control everything in my life. Like I sometimes you act stupid to try to control and make sure everything is good in your life.
Right.
I don't know, whatever you believe in, God, the
higher
universe,
power. Yep.
higher power, yourself, you are God, whatever one thing remains the same across the board, science, everything. One thing remains across the board. You are not in control.
Right.
You are not in control. So whether you are there, whether you know she's even there, whatever, you cannot control it. You can't say, I don't want you in the club because, I don't want that window of opportunity for you to cheat. You can't control that. If she cheats, just know you pure in your heart. What happens in the dark comes to light. If you don't like that behavior, you told her you don't like that behavior, you will be exonerated in one way, shape, or form.
Right.
Some way that woman is gonna blow her own cover. You're gonna find out that she cheated. It might hurt, but you can leave her.
Right.
You can instead you're gonna try to control her and say, you can't go to the club. You're not even giving her free will to make decisions for herself.
Okay.
Now, and how are you truly with somebody if you're trying to control what they do and stuff like that? I don't.
So are you saying me or are you saying men?
Men.
Oh, okay, got it.
But in reference to this particular, hypothetical situation,
right?
Who you are, it doesn't matter if you're in the club, if you're in anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. If you are a solid person, you're gonna be solid across the board.
And for the most part, I do agree with that. I just
But my bitch still can't go to the club.
That's a no, dog.
Yeah. You can't control nothing, man. Natural order, bro.
No, I'm not. See, the thing is, I'm not controlling her because I'm not controlling her, and like, I'm just telling her, like, okay, let's just say, for an example, that a woman and I, we've been dating for 4 or 5 months. She asked the typical question, "What are we?" Where is this going? And then and I'm like, I'm not really sure if you want to date me, because I'm a difficult guy to deal with. She's like, no, I can handle it. And then that's when I kind of start saying things like, I don't date women who go out to nightclubs. I don't date women who go out on girl trips.
But you have to be careful for women and men who will say anything to have you or say anything to get you. Because it's so easy to say, oh, yeah, I could deal with you. I could deal with all of these things. And then you could say that in the moment. And then, 2 seconds later, you could go and do something completely different.
Yeah, but I'm watching. I'm watching because,
And then you can also say, I don't want that. And it's like,
right.
It's like, yeah, men also have jurisdiction. Men for some reason have this weird sense of obligation towards women. I don't know if it's because you don't want to hurt them or whatever. But I know
that's the way that's the way we were raised.
You're not responsible for anybody else's feelings, and you're gonna hurt her more in the long term.
I'm not.
Than in the short.
Trust me, I'm not. I'm not a proponent for that. But I'm saying, unfortunately, a lot of us men, especially black men who were raised in single homes, this is not a shot at single moms, but let's just call a spade a spade. A lot of us were raised, and that is kind of a beta male move, to be, to just put our cape on and just say, like, we got to protect the woman's feelings and things like that. No,
I'm not saying protect her feelings. I think maybe that was misunderstood. I'm not saying protect her feelings. Okay. I'm saying you say in that moment, when she's like, oh, I can handle all of the things that you're saying to me.
Okay, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You say, you know what? I know you're saying that, but for your sake, right. I'm just going to.
Right. So, again, right, like, this is my scenario is like 3 to 4 months, right? So, 3 to 4 months, the question is, the question that woman asks, what's going on? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Right,
I got that biological clock in the back going, this, you need to get married.
Yeah. So what are we doing? So in that period of 3 to 4 months, if she's doing something that I'm not gonna like in that relationship, then I'm not gonna take her seriously. I'm gonna just have fun. And then that's when, like, I would just tell her, like, hey, like, like, I don't like, I won't get serious with a woman, who goes to clubs, and if within that 3 to 4 month range, she's been going to the club like every 2 weeks, it's like, no, you don't fit the bill. Now, again, if it's like, hey,
but y'all gotta say something quickly. Don't keep her around because you want to have fun. And you're like, oh, she's not going to be my wife, but I'm going to keep her around so I can have a good time. Because that's what men do. They always got one in their pocket.
Well, okay, so fair enough, right? So now if we're dating and, we're dating for, I don't know, let's say a couple weeks or in a month, whatever, and getting to know each other's stage, and probably like date number 2, maybe, date number 2 or something. What kind of woman do you like? And I'm gonna list the things of the quality of woman that I like. So if she's not adhering to what I like, so in her mind, she should know that I'm not going to be his girlfriend. I'm going to do whatever I want. Hot girl summer, whatever it is. Well, hot girl winter, whatever you want to call it now. Yeah. But she's doing all of that. But I told her in the beginning, these are things that I don't like. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, it's like, okay, so she doesn't care. I don't care. We're having fun. And when the ride ends, it ends. And it's all good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I agree because I think that I think that the transparency in the beginning does need to be understood between both parties more. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm not gonna stop the ride if she and I are having fun. Mm-hmm. And I told her in the beginning, like, hey, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm not feeling. Mm-hmm. Would you say that's fair?
I feel like it's fair, but I feel like transparency is key throughout. Because she'll sit there and she'll start falling for you. Mm-hmm. And you're not saying anything. You're just still having fun. You're just in the back of your mind. You're like, nah, she ain't for me, but I'm still have fun. The thing is, there's no there's transparency in the beginning, but there's no transparency throughout. Mm-hmm. Because you still wanna have that little fun thing on the side or mm-hmm. whatever. Mm-hmm. So you'll play into it and give basically false hope. And this happens a lot. Mm-hmm. You give her false hope, and women do this to men too. So the thing is, we keep talking about men versus women and women versus men, but it's a people thing. It's a person thing. You really gotta.
I don't think that it's a. I don't think that it's a man versus woman thing, because that's a great point. Mm-hmm. A lot of content like on the manosphere, and there's some women that are coming out that are supporting the manosphere, women of color that are supporting the manosphere, and it's not man versus woman, but it has been that like men have gotten like their verbal lashings for years, daytime TV, movies,
verbal lashings.
Yes, what I mean.
God forbid you get verbally lashed.
You know what I meant.
No, because men don't like to be held accountable. Men don't like to be told about
true.
Themselves.
That is not true. So no.
Look at you already fighting it. You can't be told nothing. Damn.
This is incorrect. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. Mm-hmm. Because we have been told what we have been doing wrong for years. Mm-hmm. So with the manosphere content is just that, saying like, okay, we've been held accountable. Yes, there are some things that we hear that we don't like to hear, but we've been hearing them for years. Mm-hmm. And I would say probably there was a point through like the 90s, through like early to mid 2000s, where we were like the most like unemployed. Now, and from 2010 to current, over 54% of Black men are in the middle class, employed, single, and childless. So we are on the come up. Mm-hmm. And so now we're just saying, all right, we've been in the hot seat, ladies. Come sit in the hot seat too.
You don't think women have sat in the hot seat?
Not enough because you have men like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Derek Jackson.
Do you know what he just said yesterday? You know what Derek Jackson just said yesterday? Oh, I should post it. Oh,
you should, because
he said what he said. He said how do women sleep? How do single women sleep knowing they don't have a man? Or like something of that nature. And I was like, sir.
Yeah, but he's the one that's caping for y'all.
But he's also cheating on his woman. Do you see? It's he's caping. He's telling women that have children by multiple men, that they should be able to find a man that easy to take care of them, and that doesn't matter about a woman's weight.
you know, it doesn't matter about it doesn't matter about how many men she slept with. It's like,
Yeah,
whoa,
the sky is blue.
and the thing is his yeah, but you should see his YouTube channel.
No, I've seen his YouTube channel, but I've also seen I've also seen when he was sitting there with his girlfriend holding his wife, sorry, not even his girlfriend, his wife, after he's manipulated multiple women online, making it seem like he like, you know. So basically, and this goes for relationships. It also goes for life. Usually, a lot of people have ulterior motives, and an ulterior motive doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing,
right?
You know what I mean? But Derek Jackson's ulterior motive to making those videos is to attract more women and to be able to build a lusty side life or whatever.
Bingo.
You know, and that was him. So, it doesn't matter what else he says. Everything else is negated. You could say anything. I could just sit here and just spew lies. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make you credible.
Right.
You're not credible.
Right.
So
yeah.
I don't want to hear nothing about that, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, that very, very true what you just said. He definitely manipulates women, and you know, and that's just somebody like when I got put onto his page, I saw like some woman on social media that I'm friends or acquaintance with, talking about Derek Jackson. I'm like, this shit? I'm like, no. I'm like, he's lying to y'all. He's lying to y'all. He's lying to y'all. And I don't want to put some of these women on blast, but they have some situations that they need to take care of, and it's going to be a challenge for them to find a good man of higher quality. Can they find a man? Yes, but they're not going to find a man on the higher quality that they like, because high quality men, they're, you know, because the more value that a man has, the more selective he's going to be.
I want to, you know what, compared to, I know, and I mean, maybe I'm being biased.
Sure.
I know a lot of extremely high quality Black women. Like my mother. Like, I know so many amazing women, business oriented, great caregivers. They'll bring you peace. They'll do all these things. They might hold you accountable, which men hate that shit. But I know a lot of really amazing women, and most of them are single. So, I mean, you're talking about high quality men. There's not a lot of high quality men that I know, number one.
Yep, fair enough.
Or to call a spade a spade.
Yep.
And this is not even a racial thing. There's not a lot. And I'm not talking about a good job. Anybody can have good money and everything. It's about having the right mindset, about people, about the world, about things. Men are really driven by their egos. So a lot of things are attached to their egos. Going to the club, it's attached to your ego. You know, and I feel like that's a really hard shell to break for men. So they think a lot. I think men think a lot more highly of themselves than they actually are.
Okay. So would you like to kind of give me an example of that?
Of how men are not as great as they think?
Yes.
I do, but I don't, because I don't want to, you know, give anybody, I don't want anybody to watch it and then they'd be like, oh, I ain't gonna tell my business on it. I don't want to give any personal examples.
Okay,
so let's talk about Kevin Samuels. Because you said something
The Godfather. The Godfather.
How dare you, after everything that Black people have gone through, sit up there and tell anybody that they don't deserve. Like, it's just, I don't even get me started on Kevin Samuels. But it's like, and he's sitting there, you know, with this cute little desk, got all these things, you know. I'm like, and he has all these things to say. And he's so nasty to these women. And I know, a lot of times they do they're like, oh, so I want to know how come I can't find a man. I got 3 kids, And instead of, you know, giving words of encouragement or something, you're just saying, oh, you're not a high valued person. We have a lot of a lot of, try not to like get too whatever here, but
No, go ahead.
With social media, we got to see how rich people live and how we got to see how people live, period, across the globe. We were never supposed to have access to that much information. Not that we weren't supposed to, but it's very new and it's very fresh. So it gives people certain expectations of what they want in their life. I want the house, I want the car, I want the great job. But we're not really taking into account what you sacrifice or what happens for those things. You see, you have a great job, but you don't have time to spend with anybody. You know, you want the big ass house, but you have nobody to be in there with. You know, we're doing things ass backwards because of the way that we're watching other people do things. And I think that we need to do a lot of introspective work, figure out what's going on, what our purpose is. I know it sounds really cliche, but the older I get, I realize a lot of these cliche sayings, the golden rule, you know, treat others how you want to be treated. I feel like they become so much more real. It's almost like you're relearning. Like you spend the beginning of your life like, you know, people are teaching you things, and then you forget it somewhere in the middle, and then now then you lose it all somewhere in the middle of your 20s. You know, everybody got to that point around like 27, you lost it all, and then you got to rebuild yourself and learn those qualities. So I'm saying you need the golden rule: treat other people how you want to be treated. Kevin Samuels is a very spiteful, hurt man. Because if you can never sit up there and you only know 5 facts about somebody and you want to go tell them that they don't deserve anything, you don't even know them, it's a disgusting quality. And I don't think that any that black man or any man should be thinking of that way. You can have a high quality life, but you can even bring a person. How many times, you know how good that feels? When you start right here with somebody and then you guys build each other up, and you know how good that feels because you actually did work. People are running away from work. You got to do work on yourself, and pointing the finger and blaming people, saying you don't have a good job, you don't have anything, you have baby daddies. We're forgetting that life is a journey. You're supposed to make mistakes. You're supposed to learn from them, and nothing is final for you. You can always change your life around. So you have to show compassion for people. So the reason why I don't like Kevin Samuels is because he doesn't have compassion, especially for black women. We are the most marginalized group. Not just us, but also black men too. Marginalized. And a lot of I have so many things to say. So many to say. And it's just, I just could go on forever about this stuff. But when it comes to that, it's like, you know, we have this certain, now we have all these expectations and standards. I need a woman who, I need a man who has a 6-figure job, and he pays for food, he pays for everything. He opens doors, he does this, he's nice to my mom. You want all of these things, and then you get that, and you're like, you get somebody who does all those things, and they don't spark no fire within you. You know what I mean? So I said all of that to say, you know, we got to stop looking at other people as examples, and trying to base our own personal lives on what they got going, or what they think is success. Kevin Samuels is not a happy man. Nobody. If you're happy, you're not gonna sit on here and talk shit to people.
Okay.
I don't care. You say, oh, you makes money. I don't care about any of that. He's not a happy person. But then women will, like, some people call in and wrap their whole identity into the things that he says. I don't think that's fair or smart. Yeah. Now I'm just rambling. Sorry.
When I watch, I more or less listen to the overall message, because now you have to think that, like, some of these people that are in the manosphere, like, they are edutainers. What that means is they're educating you and also being entertaining. So
you gotta be watchful for people like that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and I don't necessarily like live and breathe on his every word, but I do believe in the overall message. The overall message is that he wants people to be married. He wants people to have families. Especially black men and black women. I do, you know, I know that sometimes his message when he's speaking to black women could be direct. Now, he's been talking to black men for years. It's just that he got popular when he started, more popular rather, when he started speaking to black women. You know, but he's been getting at black men, like, you know, being very direct and abrasive, if you will, saying those things to them. So
but if you're just telling people, you know, your shoes are dirty, you know, your hairline's crooked, you know, blah blah blah, whatever you're saying to them. I mean, I don't. It's not help. You're not really helping anybody. Well, like giving step by step, whatever. And then who are you to even give off that kind of advice?
Right.
What like? I don't understand. I don't get it.
Well, so like I don't agree with everything that he says, but for me it's the overall message. Sometimes there are women who will call the show and they have really unrealistic expectations. Like for an example, I want to say it was like last week there was a woman who called. She was like 5'4", 270 pounds, 4 kids, and she wanted a man who was going to make $150,000 or more.
Who's to say she can't have that? Who are you to say that? And matter of fact, all these
let me hold on. Okay,
because I know. I mean, I don't know what her other qualifications, what other things, you know, and she could say that she wants that. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen for her. She's gonna have to learn that lesson by herself. But that's what I went back to say. You're not God. You're not the universe. You don't have no control. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she can have these unrealistic expectations. She's gonna have to learn the hard way on why those are unrealistic. Right. It's not for you to go and tell her how she did it. But I know that's how she called in, whatever. Right. But she could. But
I guess that's part of like the entertaining side, because because he knows it's unrealistic, and he's telling her like, like, are you serious? Like, that's that's unrealistic. And I did laugh because I knew that it was unrealistic. Yes, it is possible. Is it probable? No. But is it possible? Yes. So, and you're right. So, in the sense that, yes, she has to learn that for herself. But also on the flip side, where I do agree with him is because if you want a man that's making that much, look at the men that are making that much or more, and look at the type of woman that they're dealing with.
You don't know that. It's an assumption. There's broke niggas that are dealing with, they just have to be attractive. $150,000 a year. I have a friend, his name is an engineer. And he's, super in the computers, and he's more reserved. He's on the quiet side. Who's to say those two couldn't? You know what I mean? Who's to say, like, I don't understand. I don't get why, what are these? Just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean that you're attractive, you're cool, you can attract women.
No,
none of that matters.
Well, yeah, but if you are that type of provider, you have the options, and like you said that it could be possible. Is it probable? Probably not.
What options do you have?
If you are able now, again. Now, I don't know your friend, so, you said he's kind of quiet or reserved, so I'm not necessarily sure what that means. I'm not sure if he doesn't know how to communicate with women or approach women, things like that. Now, let's say I'm talking about a man, like, who is confident, who knows how to interact with women, who knows how to engage with women. Women are attracted to him, right? These are the men that typically Kevin Samuels was talking about, and
but why would you even want to be with somebody so insatiable?
Well, I don't know. You're gonna have to ask that woman. But
but that's the thing. People don't know what they really want.
But So what I'm saying is, typically a man like that who can get a lot of women, who has his preference, would not prefer a woman like that. That's not to say she's a bad woman. But in transparency, she may have health issues. She has 4 children, so that means that's other mouths to feed besides her and then him. So that's 6 people that he has to take care of: himself, her, and then 4 children. And then what if he wants to have a child with her? So then, you know, these are things that men think about. So I think that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
7 billion motherfuckers on this planet. You can find somebody who aligns with you. That's the thing. So she's
Possible, not probable though.
Yeah, no. I mean, if we stop, if we nip that whole, I need a man who has this and this.
The high value. Yep.
But that having money does not make you high value.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
So
no, you have to. No. Oh, but I'm saying it's a part of being high value. But because you can't be high value and making $30,000 a year.
You'd be surprised. As long as you can get things done, as long as you're not depending on anybody.
With $30,000 a year.
I mean, who's making that besides 15-year-old shit?
She won't let her foot off the gas.
No, I'm just being real. I just came here to, stay flat.
Yes, it's okay. No, and I'm loving this conversation. Yeah, I just think I think that I agree with the money aspect. Like, making a lot of money does not make you high value. However, being high value, you have to make a significant amount of money. You have to have a network. A network is typically like other people of value, whether it be men or women, but they see you as bringing value, because like a lot of entertainers, they make a lot of money, right? But typically they're either like by themselves and they're not high value. Like the situation, I'm not sure if you saw, but the situation that happened, was it last week or the week before with the baby?
Oh yeah, Danny Lee.
Yeah, Danny Lee. Right. So I like the baby. I like his music. There's no slight to you, brother, but you're not high value. So
no, he's horrible. He's a horrible person.
Well, I'm not gonna say that. I just want to.
He's been beating up fans, kicking his baby mama out, talking all types of stuff. You're not gonna say that? He's a horrible person. All
right.
I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
If you won't.
I like the baby's music.
And what about it?
Oh man, I like the baby's music. I like the baby's music, but he's not. He's not high value. He's high earning, but not high value. So you take somebody like Jay-Z. He's high value. A lot of men in his network have value. Are high value, so that's that.
It depends on what you want. Like, it depends on what. That's actually it. The word value. Really, we gotta like get a Google definition of the word value, and what. But that's the thing. Values change person to person. Right.
So I would say like core values, like let's take Dave Chappelle. I would say Dave Chappelle is high value. Dave Chappelle, yes, he's rich. Doesn't really flaunt too much money around. He's not really flashy. The other, people that he keeps around his circle, they have money, but they're not really flashy either. So they value principles, but they have money.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And
I've been trying to drive this point home for like 5 minutes, but I finally got her to agree.
No, I'm here to be a contrarian.
I got you.
Here to be a contrarian.
Understood.
Yes, and that is true. It is what you value.
Yeah.
I personally don't value money anymore at all.
Yep.
At all. As long as I can eat, I can take care of my family, I'm good.
Yep.
It's because I've seen what I have done for money. I'm not saying I did it nasty, But what I am saying is that for the last 3 years, I was working this. So I had a business for the last 7 years. So Wham's Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was there pretty much. Kind of. Me and my mom were like, she had a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there, you know, from like literally 6 a.m. till like 10 p.m. at night for the first 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, my mom would come before work and after work and stuff like that. We would work together like that. But I was there like that for 2 years. And there was a struggle, but it was and I didn't make any money in that time. Mm-hmm. But 7 years later, that I still have my business and I have something to show for it. Mm-hmm. And it may not be making crazy amount of money that people think, but that it should be, or people, you know, they think that the place should be nicer, or this and this and this. But it's perfect because it's sustained my family. Mm-hmm. It's given me a job, my mom a job. It employed other people, other people's families. Mm-hmm. It's gotten them to that place, even though it's not a McDonald's, not making a lot of money. Right. But the impact that it's had on the community, the little, you know, is huge.
Absolutely.
But then, so after the first 2 years, my mom quit her job and came and worked with me. Mm-hmm. We fell on some hard times. No, it's okay. I had to step away from the business not step away, but like kind of take a step back. Mm-hmm. I dealt with like more of the bill side of things. Okay. And then I got another job. Mm-hmm. And I was waitressing, bartending, you know, doing little odd jobs here and there. And I made a lot of money. And then I was at this restaurant for a consistent 3 years. Mm-hmm. Through the pandemic, everything. I've done a lot of things like for that company. The money was amazing. My business took a back seat to that once I went there, because, you know, if it's instant gratification, you're walking out with cash in hand every night. Right. It was good money. It was way more than I would be not way more, but like it was consistently, like, you know, I could make, you know, the same thing just serving that I could make in sales, you know, on a really slow day sometimes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that instant gratification, that money in hand, I ended up, you know, neglecting my business, neglecting my family, neglecting my home life, neglecting my friends, because it was just go get the money, you know, work all these crazy hours. They would abuse me. I'm serving not this folk, I'm serving the other folk, and you know, that's very difficult because they already have so many preconceived notions of me. They just see black, you know what I mean? And without realizing that black people, first of all, are the originals. So there's so many different kind of black people. So many different kind of black people. Right. Like, it's crazy. Yep. It's insane. But they're still looking at me like, girl. And you know what I mean? And you know, so I dealt with a lot of stuff with that. With my coworkers. You know, there was another girl who was mixed or whatever. I'm putting this all out though. There's another girl who was mixed. And, you know, so when I got there, I'm thinking, you know, she's black too, so maybe we will be cool, whatever. But I'm a very shy person. Even though my personality is big and robust, I'm very shy initially. I like to feel things out first before I just start jumping in. Okay. So, you know, she just didn't fuck with me at all. For 3 years I worked there, we never spoke. Wow. Never spoke. And that actually, it broke my heart. Because I love black people, I love black women, and I'm like, and to find out that, you know, she talk shit about me, all this other stuff, it broke my heart, for real, because I'm like, what? Like, come on, yo. So I was dealing with that, and it seems so trivial, but then it made me think, okay, so what's wrong with me? Like, and then it makes me go back on other situations where people didn't really treat me right, you know, And then for what? They don't even know me. They don't even want to get to know me. They're just already casting me to the side, and it's happened my entire life. And so the more you dig into that, and then the lack of sleep. I'm on my feet all day. I didn't eat properly. You know, I started developing bad habits. I've been a smoker. I smoke weed. I was smoking day in and day out, just to cope, just to you know, grab a sense of self. I lost everything. Like what was like mostly important to me, my business, my family. I lost sight of that, all trying to chase this money.
Right.
And then not too long ago, I got into an argument. I was 2 minutes late. It was 11:02. I was 2 minutes late. My manager, and I already told them my situation, that sometimes I'm going to be late because I have a business and, you know, I got stuff to do. I told my manager, I'm like, I told them, all three of them, on multiple occasions, I might be late. It's 11:02 and you're coming here to talk to me about whatever. I cussed them the fuck out. I was like, after all this work I do for you, everything that I've done for my family, the sacrifices I've made for my mental health, and you talking about 2 minutes, you still can't even value the fact that I showed up in a pandemic. I always showed up for you guys. If you needed anything, I would show up. I always did. I always did the most. I practically kept that place. Like, there'd be angry ass customers at the door cussing everybody out, and I would be over there to calm them down because I know how to talk. Nobody else knows how to talk. Everybody else is like, oh, it's not my problem. It's not my job. It's not my. But I took accountability because I understand how a business works. You got to play every side of that. So I said that long ass story to say, I yelled at this manager who's been there for 2 months, and I didn't even yell at him. I just kind of was like, what do you want from me? Kind of thing. Like, I'm like, it's 11:02. Like, what do you want from me? Obviously, I'm gonna be frustrated. What are you talking about? 2 minutes? It's stupid. So, he's only been there for 3 months, and I've been there for 3 years, and they fired me.
Oh wow.
They fired me, even though I was, hands down, to this day, anybody could tell you, I was one of the best servers there. I was a personality in that place. I have regular customers, old white men that want my email to make sure that I can get a job after I leave that place.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like I did so much, and I gave so much, and I lost that job. They didn't give a fuck about me. They tossed me to the side. And then now I'm back home, and I'm going back to my business to be there full time. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, I've missed so much. I've missed so much, and I could have been doing so much more, and this place could have taken off. So that's what I'm saying. It's important to truly evaluate what you value in life. It's really important to know who you are and never to lose sight of that, because it's so easy to get distracted. So easy to get distracted. There's so many simple ways to do that. So it's so important, you know, when we're talking about value, know yourself first. Spend time by yourself. Stop trying to find a partner so that you can go and offload all of your things, because that's what a lot of people want to do. They want to get with somebody because it's cheaper housing, you know, you take, you know, whatever it is, you know, somebody to fuck, somebody to sleep with, somebody to cuddle with, all these codependency things. Learn how to be alone. Like, sit down somewhere and chill out. We're so anxious, we're so fidgety, we're on the road driving crazy because we gotta get somewhere, You crash, and then you get nowhere. You die. That's it. You know, we really do need to slow down as a unit and really figure out what the fuck is important. What is truly important to you inside. What really drives you to make you happy. And there's no way to do that without taking a step back from the world, from money, from worldly possessions. All this shit is made up. None of it really exists. If you really, I mean, obviously bills exist and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. You know, you still gotta pay your bills. And you gotta do life. But
yeah, I wish you could Thanos that shit. The
bills. I wish it was that easy, you know. But it's all made up.
Yeah.
So you gotta really find purpose, find happiness in the small things.
Yeah.
I remember, what was it? The other day, my sister had a balloon, and she let it go. The shit went flying. She was dying. And her little giggles made all of us just die. We all started dying. And what were we dying about? The balloon flying in the sky. And then for you, that's like, oh, that's not funny. That's not. No, it wasn't funny, but it was a beautiful moment because it was so peaceful.
Right. Yep.
It was, so find honor and find those little moments to be appreciative of, because we're getting into relationships and we're like, oh, this man he don't take me to dinner, he don't love me, da, 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 da. But negating the fact that, he made you sandwiches and you guys had a little picnic outside, you know what I mean? But because he didn't take you to Fogo de Chao and spend $800 on a gold plated steak.
Fogo de Chao is nice.
Yeah, I know it's nice or anything, but
Yeah. No. That's
it's about what you value. So I guess this conversation, that's why I love you gotta let things happen. Right. A lot of times we're trying to control everything. We're trying to play God. Even like what you're seeing with I'm about to get political, with COVID. You know what I mean? And the vaccine mandate and everything like that. You guys are trying to play God. You're trying to control things that are out of your control. I'm not saying don't get vaccinated. I'm not saying, don't, take precautions. Of course, take all the precautions to protect yourself, be safe. And and COVID is not a joke. It will kill your ass. However, you are not God. And when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And there's nothing that can stop that. So let's stop, trying to do everything and be everything. Just try to be yourself. Just try to maintain. Live below your means. Fix your mental health. Stop being mean to people. Like, other people are suffering too. When you start feeling, and apologize. Be a big person. We all know how to do it, but we're choosing not to. That's why the world right now is in turmoil. Because and there's all these wars. That's why Donald Trump was able to be a president. Donald Trump was only president because it made him feel warm and fuzzy inside, and it played to his hand. It benefited him. He didn't give a fuck about nobody. Everyone wants to say Donald Trump is racist. He's not racist. He don't give a fuck about nobody across the board. Not no white man, not nobody else except himself. And he's willing to lie, plumage, steal, everything like that to make it there. I hear a lot of people talking about generational wealth online right now. And that's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yep. But you have to understand right now, a lot of the generational wealth is built on the back of slavery. A lot of the people who have generational wealth right now was on the backs of slavery. So are you willing to kill and do all of that stuff just so that you could have everything in the world? Is Donald Trump happy? Is Kim Kardashian happy? She has everything. Is she truly, truly happy? Because if you're truly, truly happy, why do you still need more? Why do you still need constantly to call the paparazzi to come and take pictures of you? Why do you still want Melania Trump to hold your hand in the public eye, even though she don't like you? Everybody knows she don't like your ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you have all the money in the world. So what does money mean? So are you willing to, what are you willing to sacrifice? To gain? What are you willing to sacrifice to gain? And it's hard because, especially Black people, we've been, so disenfranchised, so poor for so long. So, we feel like we got a lot of catching up to do. There's no catching up. We will forever be blessed people. We're the original people. We come from abundance. The continent of Africa is being plumaged by everybody right now. Asia has a big hand in it right now. Most of Europe has been kind of getting out of it, but Asia has a big hand in it now. Black people come from a land of abundance where you can go down to the river and get water. Like, I'm talking original, like Garden of Eden type shit. Yep. You know what I mean? So naturally, instinctively in your DNA, we don't need anything. And that's why white people are really scared, because they're like, yo, after all of these things that we've done for them, they're still just chilling. Like, we only fight them when they fight us. We're never really bringing fights to their door. Like, on a grand scale, the way that they act as though that happens or whatever. You know, don't lose sight of that. You know, we're blessed people. Let things happen the way that they happen, you know, because the grass is not always greener. You could say, I want to have so much money like Kim Kardashian and live in a big ass mansion and do all this stuff and da 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 da. But Kim Kardashian is still calling the paparazzi just to take pictures of her so that she can trend online again. Or maybe she can generate more money. But what can you really do with more money? I mean, you can, I'm saying you can develop, you know, financial security. That's no problem. But once you become overindulgent in anything, when you become extreme in anything, whether it's lust, greed, 7 deadly sins, any of those things, you are destined to fail, whether you see it today or you see it in 10 years, 100 years, whether you even see it at all. And people always post the things that look good, but they never really post, you know, that time when they were crying in the corner and really hurting.
Yep.
So the grass ain't always greener. You know, water your shit and focus on you, focus on your personal relationship, because we can generalize and talk about relationships all day, but ultimately whatever I say is not real advice for anyone. Because it may work for me, but it may not work for you at all. So stay in your own lane. Water your own grass. Mind your business. Drink your water. You know, eat your fruits. And just be. You know, live below your means. Stop wanting material things to validate you. When you can validate you inside, nobody can take anything away from you. That's all I got to say.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
You're like, I wanted to have fun and talk about bitches.
No. That was amazing. I really appreciate you taking the time to have this conversation with me.
I've been trying to get this done for a minute. So.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. You know, things happen, busy schedules, whatever. But I definitely appreciate you taking the time. Definitely was amazing. So this last what was it, like 5-minute diatribe you just went on? That was fire. So appreciate it. Again, so one of the things that I like to do is just have these different conversations. Yes, we do talk about relationships, but we also talk about life and your purpose, not just in a relationship, but your purpose in your daily life. And I appreciate everyone taking the time out to to listen and watch this conversation, and let the people know where they can find you.
They can find me on all social media platforms under Mannieegee, MANNIEEGEE. Yeah. I'll
post that below. Thank you for your time.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yes, and make sure that you all stay purposeful. And I'm out.